G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome to a Path of Exile gearing guide. I've had videos like this, a series covering the different gearing slots and what actually makes a good piece of gear, requested a lot of times by you guys, so I thought it'd be a good idea to, get started on it, and I'll be starting from the ground up with boots. Yeah, it took me a while to think up that joke. But anyway, let's get into some boots. Now, unlike other videos for this in this series, I'm actually going to have the perfect pair of boots to show off as an example for this particular video. But basically in this video I'm going to be going over the different stats you can get on boots, what makes a good pair of boots, what stats are crucial, and and then talk about what is the perfect example of the perfect pair of boots for most people. The thing about Path of Exile is that gearing is very diverse. There's different builds and different setups that prioritize different stats more so than others, but some slots, boots are a good example, are pretty generally good if they have a certain few select stats. So the first thing to know is that with any piece of gear in the game, this is going to apply to everything I talk about in this series, you can have 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. So all of your mods that can roll on gear are divided into these 2 categories, prefixes and suffixes, and they come from the ideas of magic items. Let's see if I can actually go find a magic item to show you guys for a sec. Maybe Nessa will have one for us to look at. But here we go. So we've got the Squire's Serpent Wand of Consumption. So Squire's is the prefix and Consumption is the suffix. And Squire's is increased physical damage, it looks like, probably, and accuracy, and the 6+ to mana is of Consumption. So that's the prefix, the thing that goes before the item type, and the suffix is the thing that goes after the item type. So now let's move on to actually how this applies to boots. So I'll try and overlay some text on screen so you guys can see this and follow along as we go. But I'm going to go through the prefixes first that are available on boots. Firstly, you have item rarity, then you have base life, then you have base mana, then you have move speed, which is very important. Then you have energy shield, evasion, armor, or the combination types of those, an actual integer amount. And then you have evasion, energy shield, armor, and those combinations in a percentage amount. And then you have evasion, energy shield, and armor percent amount with base stun recovery. So that's like a combined stat. There's a few of these combined stats that appear on different types of gear, like the accuracy and damage mod that was on the wand earlier that we looked at is another example of that. Now, in terms of suffixes, we have intelligence, dexterity, strength, and that depends on the type as well. So energy shield boots like this only have intelligence available to them, while armor evasion rating boots like this have dexterity and strength available to them since they're combined, a dual type of boots. So that's an important one to note if you're trying to look for a certain main stat and are wondering why you can't roll strength on your energy shield boots. Other than that, we have Chaos, Cold, Fire, and Lightning Resist. So they're all separate and they all count as a separate suffix each individually. There's no combined suffixes there. Then you have Item Rarity, Item Quantity, Life Regen, and it's an integer amount per second. And then you have Stun Recovery as a separate roll as well. So boots are an interesting slot because they have one stat that pretty much makes boots worth getting. There's very few pairs of boots in the game that don't have move speed that are worth wearing, and they have to be exceptionally good to be able to have that move speed, to not have that move speed, sorry. So you'll notice all 3 of these boots I've saved here, which are these 2 are fairly average overall. This one's okay, it's got life, some resist, and move speed. This one only really has move speed and some chaos resist. The thing that makes all these boots good together is move speed. Move speed is crucial. It is essential in Path of Exile, and pretty much in any action RPG really as well. It does multiple things that benefit you. It makes you kill things faster. You can jump from mob pack to mob pack much more quickly. You can farm faster and increases your efficiency overall. It also increases your survivability, allows you to kite better, and allows you to move out of AoE and damage over time, like ground effects, much more quickly. So it actually has a direct increase in survivability as well. And it also just makes the game a lot more fun to play. It's much more fun to run around with 15% movement speed than it is to run around without it. And then when you get 30%, the effect is even more dramatic. So now let's talk about, what's the optimum pair of magic boots? Because, while you're leveling, you might have to roll a pair of magic boots. So from all of this list of prefixes and suffixes, hopefully I still have these up on screen for you guys, you've got things like move speed is always essential, and that takes up the prefix slot. So that means you can't really get life on a pair of boots if you want move speed on a magic pair of boots, since you can only have 1 prefix and 1 suffix. So you want move speed on your magic boots, basically. You know, if you're desperate and can't happen to get the move speed roll, then life is also a good roll, but move speed or life are the main ones, mostly move speed. And then for the suffix, you want one of the resistances. You know, intelligence, dexterity, strength are nice. Rarity and quantity aren't so good for leveling. Regen's pretty useless in general, like it's usually a very small amount. And stun recovery is really not worth getting on boots. So you want to resist. So if you're rolling pair of magic boots, try and alteration it and use your augmentations until you can get move speed and then a resist you need. So say you're a bit low on fire resist, try and roll your fire resist. So now with the rares, we have a little bit more flexibility since we can get 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. So what is the ideal pair of boots? And I have some to show you here. Basically, the ideal pair of boots is move speed, of course. Then life, which is also a prefix, and then evasion, energy shield, armor, percent. The flat integer mods for boots can also be pretty good because boots in general don't have a very high base energy shield. Like this one here, this pair of boots here, is a fairly low item level, and it's actually, despite having all of the right stats, they're all quite low as well. They're quite low rolls. So these boots could be a lot better, but they're still a perfect example for this. Now, yeah, basically, if you can get like a 60% plus evasion, energy shield, armor roll, then that's going to help out a lot. Not so much with evasion and armor, but with energy shield it's quite nice because energy shield is basically another life pool. So with this, you know, I've got an extra 60% energy shield, which is always nice for me because I'm an Eldritch battery build, but nice for someone who wants a little bit more survivability as well. And then on your suffixes, the 3 stats you want are resist, resists, and resists. Pretty simple stuff. So you want some combination of the 4 resists. Before there only used to be 3 resists. You had lightning, fire, and cold resist, but now they've added into the game chaos resistance since open beta. So now you want some combination of whatever of the 3 resists you want. So if you can get fire, cold, and lightning, or fire, cold, and chaos, or chaos, cold, and lightning, something like that, some combination of 3 resists, then you got a pretty nice pair of boots. So life, increased base stat, increased implicit mod, so your defensive stat, your 3 resists, and of course movement speed makes the perfect pair of boots. And I'm glad I have this example to show off to you guys here. So hopefully you guys have found this fairly helpful. Boots are pretty simple overall, really. Like once you take move speed out of the equation, so taking one of your prefixes out of the equation, you really only have life and energy shield to play with, and then 3 resists are a no-brainer. Pretty simple stuff overall. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.